How realistic is Trey Lance taking Jimmy G's job?
Man, it's very realistic. And I say it's very realistic because when you start hearing these type of reports, you're getting these reports for a reason. They want us to hear this so that they can justify it, but they don't want to pay Jimmy G over $20 million to sit the bench. Like, if Jimmy G can't beat out a guy that made 17 college starts, he's in trouble. Think about this. It's not a matter of when, it's a matter of if. Jimmy G has played more than 6 games one time in his career. 6 games, more than one time. That's the year they went to the Super Bowl. So it's not a matter of when Trey Lance is going to be in the starting lineup. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, because Jimmy G can't stay healthy. And so they're already planting the seeds right now. Let us know. Trey Lance will be your quarterback. We're just giving you guys a heads up. That's all.
Yeah, man, this is one of those takes that's going to leave your mouth and you're just mad that you got to say it. But this is realistic. It's dumb as hell, but it's realistic because, one, we've been there before. The reports start coming out because you know how the reporters work. I used to be the snitch on my team, so the reporters would sit there in front of everybody, you know, get their sound bites. Then Jim Trotter called me up on the way home. So tell me the real, Wiley, and I tell him I ain't give a damn. I was like, I'm protected up here. As long as I'm balling, what they going to do to me? So somebody up there telling the real because somebody up there knows that they're protected, and they're giving them the pure dope. Why do I know that this is realistic? Because you always got to follow the money. Follow the money, not just Jimmy G's contract, because everybody's like, well, then Jimmy G's going to start the entire year. No. Also follow the money in terms of what they invested in Trey Lance, how they moved up in the draft to get Trey Lance, how they leveraged the future, how this was kind of a chips all in move to go get Trey Lance. Because, as I remind people, outside of that Super Bowl year, you haven't seen a lot of winning in San Francisco, and not under Kyle Shanahan's watch. And the offense hasn't been productive as well outside of Jimmy G when he's healthy. So now there's a lot riding on this quarterback position, and more so not on Jimmy G in transition, but Trey Lance as the future in the present. So here's the problem. This is why I think it's realistic, but dumb. The only way you can justify a Trey Lance move this year would be, okay, we're going to improve. The only way this team's going to improve from the last time we saw Jimmy G healthy is to go out there and win the Super Bowl. Not appear in the Super Bowl, not have a lead in the fourth quarter of a Super Bowl, but to win the Super Bowl. So I think it's premature to put Trey Lance out there as a rookie. Let Jimmy G one more time go out there, hopefully finish the deal, and see if this team could go out there and win a Super Bowl. If not, then it's going to be an easy, clean break. Trey Lance, you won't be a rookie anymore. And Jimmy G, we love you, but we have reached the end of our destination together. That's how you do it, but it sounds like from these reporters who are getting that real dope that it's going to happen a lot sooner than we expect.
Oh, absolutely it's going to happen. Look, the clock was ticking on Jimmy Garoppolo's tenure when the 49ers handed in the card. When they say Trey Lance, quarterback from North Dakota State, Jimmy Garoppolo should have went on and called the realtor and said, I got to get up out of the Bay Area because my time is done here. Because when Kyle Shanahan made the move, he made it because Trey Lance gives him the best of both worlds. By that, I mean, he is able to run the normal offense that he's always run in San Francisco while now adding the element that he utilized in Washington when he had RG3, the quarterback run game. And so when you think about facing a San Francisco running game that has been dominant without a running option at quarterback, you now add a guy in Trey Lance who's 6'3", 230 pounds, physical runner, who doesn't need to run it like Lamar Jackson runs it, but just needs to give the threat of being able to run it like that. Oh, man, you talk about being able to change the numbers, change the equation on defense, give defensive coordinators nightmares, and really elevate this offense back to a level where they not only go to the Super Bowl, but they can win it.
The reason, if you guys think about this, the reason the 49ers are willing to give Jimmy Garoppolo, if you want to call it, a chance this year, when he's healthy, he's been very effective. 24-8 in his 32 starts. And so there's not many quarterbacks in the league that can say I've won 24 out of my first 32 starts. So he's been very effective when healthy. He just can't stay healthy, as I said earlier. He's played in more than 6 games one time in his career. You can't have that as a quarterback. You're not available. You're not reliable. We can't count on you. And so with Shanahan, Trey Lance, with that athleticism, he's sitting here like, oh, my God, I can do so much with this guy. And now he's gaining the trust of his teammates in training camp. It's a matter of if Jimmy G, if you don't even if you just play bad, they're going to start throwing plays and, okay, Trey, go ahead and get this series. And then before long, that's it. You're out of here.
That is true, though. You know how that goes. It's almost like those times where we've all been on the field and we're on the sideline and it's our time to go get our rep. And the coach puts his hand across the chest like, ho, I like this rotation. Let me just see what my man got. That is what my man is about to do to Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is about to run onto the field.
That happened to me.
That's what's about to happen. He's about to figure out the rotation is not going to be the same as it always has been.
Hold on, TJ, I got to hear that story. What happened?
I was in Seattle. When Pete Carroll was there.
Yeah.
No lie. I was running in the game. They was like, nah, Mike, he want to keep Mike Williams in. Mike Williams, a big Mike Williams that played at SC, that got drafted to the Detroit Lions. I never forget. I was like, oh, man, I'm going to take off on Pete Carroll, man. What's wrong with this dude?
Hey, that's how it goes. Every D lineman knows that. Like, when you're in there, you know, you're in rotation, coach be like, yeah, let him stay this third down. Let him get this third down. You're like, what you mean let him get this third down? He get the money down. Not at all. You guys led me to some interesting places because – one, when you think about the draft and what happens underneath the top surface in the draft, it happened to me. It happens to many guys. It's happening right now with Trey Lance and Jimmy G. Jimmy G signed a 5-year, $137.5 million contract. Became the highest paid player in NFL history at the time, despite only having 7 starts. We all remember it. Okay. Now, when all of a sudden you fast forward to this year, as you said, TJ, Jimmy G, base salary is $24.1 million. Y'all want to know what his dead cap is? Which means if we let you go, what's the hit? $2.8 million. Okay, you know what it is next year? $1.4 million. Hey, they looking at him like, okay, let's get these stories out there right now, see how this fan base is going to receive Trey Lance, particularly early in potential if it happens. And you already talk about the draft. Bruce Smith was sitting there, and I remember reading this article when I got drafted to Buffalo. It took me 3 years to get my opportunity to get my starting job from Bruce Smith. They had to release him. But 3 years, and I'm a second rounder who wasn't even playing that well. But it took me 3 years. Whatever. Then I get my opportunity. That same year I get my chance, they draft in the first round a guy by the name of Eric Flowers at my position. 1 year. So you see, 3 years, a guy who's not even playing that well, me. 1 year, Eric Flowers sitting there, not doing so well. What about Trey Lance, who's doing amazing, being aggressive in practice right now? Oh, Jimmy G can't stay healthy. Oh, this team is a Super Bowl-ready team. All it needs is a quarterback. That's how they play it in narrative. So here's the question to both of you guys. Is it smart to switch to Trey Lance if he's ready?
Absolutely. This is smart because we've seen it. And I'm not going to continue to compare Trey Lance to Lamar Jackson, but we saw how difficult it has been for teams to deal with the Baltimore Ravens running game. When you think about the running game that the 49ers have had with Kyle Shanahan, they've had success at every turn. Now you add in a mobile quarterback that can do it under center and from gun. Oh, man. Defensive coordinators' heads are going to spin. And so from an offensive perspective, to me, it's better if they go ahead and put Trey Lance in. He gives them more bang for the buck, and he's a more dangerous playmaker at the quarterback position.
Smart as if I went to Columbia. Smart, yeah. He brings a dynamic that they just don't have. And he's only had 17 college starts. Yeah, if you can feel like he can give you a dynamic that teams got to prepare for that. I mean, Trey Lance isn't Lamar Jackson, but he's big, he's athletic, and it's just something that go back to RG3 when the Shanahans had him in Washington. Rookie of the year was never the same after the Shanahans left. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Let me push back on this because, look, he made 1 start last year. Then you're going back to 17 total starts. So let's just say the guy a little rusty. It's okay to be rusty, but not in the NFL. Like, your first start in the NFL is going to be coming off of basically 2 years where you only started 17 total games. I'm not so certain about that when you have seen starting quarterbacks their first year, good players, as good as the Trey Lance, struggle. Let's talk about Josh Allen his first year. Anybody? Y'all want to go there? And then look at Josh Allen now. But the first year, do y'all really want him to take these lumps on a Super Bowl-ready team?
Look at Justin Herbert.
Hey, don't you do that now. Don't you do that now. I got a list of bad guys first. Let me go through them. And they didn't win in L.A. I love my Chargers. I'll be there, season ticket holder. He put up numbers. Now, if you get that type of performance on a Super Bowl-ready team that stays healthy, I'm with you, TJ. But Sam Darnold disagrees with you. Mitchell Trubisky disagrees with you. Carson Wentz, rookie year, disagrees with you. Jared Goff disagrees with you. So it sounds like a crapshoot. You got a Justin Herbert out there. You got a Baker Mayfield his first year. But then, what if this doesn't work out? What if you're going mid-season, you're like, Trey Lance has potential, has talent. The game is just going too fast for him. He hasn't played but 17 games in 2 years. And then you got Jimmy G sitting there making that $24 million base salary, and he's a Super Bowl appearing quarterback. What would make sense with that as a mindset in terms of scenario, TJ, if you were to be the head coach like Kyle Shanahan?
You know what will tell me if he's ready or not? These preseason games. He's going to get out there, and they're going to give him a ton of run in the preseason games. He's going to play the majority of the downs because of what you just said. Is he ready to play?
Well, TJ, those guys are going to work at FedEx in 2 weeks. That's not the real world.
That's just justification, though. They just want to show.
True.
They just want him to show that he can handle it. That's all they want. Show us you can handle it. That those 17 starts, it's not that much of a big deal. That you've adjusted to the game and the speed of the NFL. If he can show he can do that, he's in there. And we both know. We know that. He's in there. If he can show in the preseason, he got it.
Damn.
Yeah, it absolutely is all about the preseason performance. If he shows flashes where he is able to make a couple plays as a runner and as a thrower, he absolutely is going to take the position. This is one where Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, they can get a jump start on the clock. Because remember, Super Bowl teams are best built when they have a quarterback on the rookie deal. If you can get that guy playing and playing well in year one, man, it extends the window for your Super Bowl team. The time is now. If Trey Lance shows anything, it is time for him to be the quarterback for the Niners.